Hi, I'm Robert Dubois Brownie, and welcome to Song and a Story, where I play you a song and tell you a story. The song doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the story. Sometimes it might. Today's song is Three Little Birds, my cover of the Bob Marley original. So my wife asked me something a couple of weeks ago. She asked me if I ever wrote a song that didn't have any melody. Like if somebody gave me words, if I could write a song, to just lyrics, to just words. And it reminded me of an experience I had, years ago. I was maybe 18 or 19 years old when I used to work at my uncle's studio. I was his assistant, his production, production assistant. And he was working on a project with an artist. At the time, the artist was, prior to that moment, he was a big artist, and he was, trying to make his comeback in the business, if you want to call it that. Anyhow, my uncle was working on a project with him, and being at the studio every day, he was familiar with me and all of that, and for whatever reason, he wanted me to help him with a song. So I said, sure, no problem. And my uncle encouraged it, you know. He knew I played guitar and he asked if we can write song and things. So I said, yeah, man, no problem. As you can see, let me just say for a second, I'm shooting this in the night. So you hear all the creepy crawlers outside, all the twinkly insects and the neighbor's dogs. So, excuse that. So, that's what's going on in the background. So the artist, you know, picked me up from my house one day. I went to his place. I took my guitar and stuff, and when I got there, he said, yeah man, sit here. Handed me a book with lyrics. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, how it go? He's like, no, that's it, I just have the words. I'm say, you don't have any melody, no idea, nothing? He said, no, just these words. So I said, oh, okay, fine, all right. So I spent a couple hours at his house, you know, looking at the lyrics and, you know, started strumming something and formulating a melody, whatever. Anyway, finished the day, it turned out well. I mean, I liked what came of it. He liked it also. So I think the following day, or, you know, a few days later, we went back to the studio and presented the song to my uncle who was producing the track. You know, he was producing the whole project, the whole album. So this was going to be another one of the songs on the album. Took up the guitar, started playing the melody, playing the chords, sing, you know, hum, sing, whatever I did at the time. My uncle liked it. He said, oh, nice, man, nice. So he started laying the track. I didn't play on the track at all, which, I mean, that's neither here nor there. That wasn't my purpose there. So my uncle, you know, heard the arrangement and he played the song, he played the tracks. And when the rhythm was finished, when the track was done, I sang a guide vocal on the track so that the singer, the artist could, you know, learn the song, learn the melody, sing the song pretty much. So we did that. The song turned out. I mean, the artist didn't sing the song how it was written. You know, a lot of artists don't have proper interpretation, you know. A lot of people, let's not just say artists, you know, you might hear something but you can't reproduce it. And it's not vocal ability I'm talking about, it's just how you interpret what you hear. Because it was within his vocal range, he just never sang it. The rhythmic patterns of which, you know, how the words fell within the track and so. Anyhow, him sing the song mixed, produced, whatever, mastered, album, finished, everything. Couple months down the line now, he came back to Jamaica with a hard copy of the record. So, you know, young guy, teenager, excited to see the credits, you know, because he helped write the song pretty much, you know. So as he presented the CD to my uncle, he saw my enthusiasm, so he looked at me and was like, yeah man, your credit on it and everything, man, everything good, man, you get your credit, man. So I said, cool, nice. So eventually the CD got in my hands and I, you know, opened it and immediately looked, you know, searched for the song. The song was on the album, look right as credit, my name not there, nothing. No dubs. I wasn't even called Dubs at the time. I was Robert Brownie. I still am Robert Brownie. Anyway, no credit. So I said no credit no day, and all he said was, for real? And that was it. So to this day, I haven't received $1 from that song. I haven't gotten any credit, any assistant writer, any co-writer, nothing for that particular song on that project. And I mean, you could say my uncle being the producer of the record could have looked out for me, but that wasn't the case. I mean, I didn't feel any way about it at the time, and I still don't. But just looking back at it, you know, I would have probably ensured that my youth get even mentioned, even if it's not any kind of royalties, just at least the name on the record means something, you know what I mean? But yeah, no mention, no royalties, no nothing, just thank you. And which, you know, brings me to the point and the moral of what I said in a previous video, which is, you know, usually when you're young, when you're just coming up in the business, people always expect you to pay your dues, you know. So this experience, again, was a part of me paying my dues, you know, going somewhere with this artist, helping him to write his song, finish write his song for a couple of hours, then go back to the studio, record the demo vocals, make sure the arrangement is what I, you know, created, which it was like chordally, not arrangement as in specific drum pattern, specific keyboard parts or anything like that, but the initial composition as in the chord structure of the song was my creation and stuff. But again, as I say, you know, these things do happen, these things will always happen to creative people, because there'll always be somebody who, there'll always be those who choose not to credit who is to be credited, you know. So again, if you're an aspiring artist or musician or writer or anything, just know that it goes with the territory. It's part of the business, and shit happens, right? So you can either learn the, no, there's no either. You should learn the business, especially at this century where we are right now. There's information everywhere, you know. So learn the business so that you don't get caught in these situations. Learn about the business so that you can always be compensated for your intellectual property. With that said, Dubs out.